This is King Noble Black Supremacy. In this particular video, I want to talk about how the Black Lives Matter movement is not responsible for this recent execution and murder of white cops, any cops today, or just white people in general. The Black Lives Matter movement is not responsible. Let me tell you what is responsible. White people with a misconception about their racial identity and their supremacy, their lack of compassion for minorities, taking advantage of the lack of political power that minorities have. Their just overall devilishment, their desire to dominate over other people and to exploit other people for the economic gains of their counties and their states. This will be the responsibility of deaths to come, of white people and white police officers. It's its open season on killing whites and white police officers, and probably killing cops, period. It's open season toward
open season on killing white and white police officers, and probably killing cops, period. It's open season.
And the deaths that have already taken place in the past. You're responsible, cracker. You're responsible for the death of white cops that you're about to see, the death of police officers. You're responsible for the death of white people that's about to happen on a massive level, wholesale level. You're a cause for it. Your inability to evolve. And your arrogance to think that you're going to continue to dominate over a people. Continue to oppress a people, beat them down, take advantage of them. And that one day that they won't rise up and realize how easy it is to take your ass out the game. That they won't somehow get that epiphany that I filed lawsuits, I've marched, I've rallied, I've begged, I've pleaded, I've sympathized. But now I've come to the point where the only solution is to take your ass out. So every time you're haughty and you continue to push racism, and you're proud in your racial position, as long as you continue to do that, just think you will be responsible. As long as racism continues to go on as it is now, you will continue to get murdered and killed, and it's about to get stepped up. So whenever you feel so haughty and arrogant in your racism, in your hatred of another people, the black people, really your gods, hatred of the supreme people of the earth, your true masters, the original people of the planet earth, the mother and fathers of civilization. As long as you continue to be haughty and arrogant and hating them, you will be responsible for your mass execution and annihilation of your people. Not the Black Lives Matter movement. The Black Lives Matter movement didn't kill Trayvon Martin. The Black Lives Matter movement didn't kill Eric Garner. It didn't kill Mike Brown, Sandra Bland. The Black Lives Matter movement didn't murder them. Racist, white, fucking cracker devils. The filthy scum of the fucking earth did it. And as long as you all continue to do stuff like that, then the innocent among you will be preyed upon you and executed and murdered upon you in your very eyes.
Is that what you're going to do?
And you come out and say, oh, he was a good cop, and he was a good this. It won't matter, because it doesn't matter to you when you continue to be racist and be proud of it. The innocent among you will be slaughtered. Soft targets will be taken out one by one. Black people will no longer be waiting for their day in court. because they know blacks will always be guilty and a white man will always be innocent. So our time for waiting for our day in court is over with. Our time on waiting on political change, on waiting on the right president to get in the office is over with. We had a black president and he couldn't do nothing. And now you're going to put Donald Trump in. You're going to put a cracker in there. We got this or that cracker to choose from. Hillary Clinton or this or that one. Some black people out here are sick and tired of that. They know change ain't coming. And the only change that's going to happen is one that they willing to stand up and make happen right now. That's the time we living in today. You should have listened to our rally and our begging. You should have let our vote count. It's too late now for you, devil. It's not the Black Lives Matter movement that's responsible. Look in the mirror. Look at your racist, sick, disgusting, filthy, white devil ass in the mirror. And there you will find the responsibility for the brutal future. The brutal future that awaits you all. This is King Noble Black Supremacy. Join my website, www.kingnobleBlackRulership.com.
All right, people. You know what this is about. You know where I'm going to come with it. So I'm not even going to jump in with my usual perfunctory. I'm just going to get straight to the point. See, this is the problem I have with this coon. And I'm going to use his verbiage to describe him. We can't start off this way. Let's just start off like this. America does not negotiate with terrorists. We don't. Even though we have a president that will. We, the American people, do not negotiate with terrorists. What you just saw was 3 minutes of absolute buffoonery. What you just saw was 3 minutes of a person who does not understand how the political game is actually played. Does not understand that if you want to make changes in the system, you have to become the change you want to see. And like I said in my previous video, which I will link in the description box of this video, this is why decent, hardworking black folks in America need to get the hell out of Dodge when the shit hit the fan. Because it's these kind of people that will lead you to your own perdition, to your own destruction. And for some reason or another, this fool gets an audience. Now, he, in his video, stated that there is no such thing of freedom of speech. Here's the irony. He is allowed to get up on his soapbox and stand before the millions of potential viewers, both on his social media page and here on YouTube, and spit out his racist bile. And no one, and I mean no one, bats an eyelash. But then if someone from Stormfront, who I don't agree with, by the way, or someone from a neo-Nazi skinhead group says the same thing, then of course he's shaking his fist in outrage. Listen, I am a firm believer and a true believer in the thing called freedom of speech, and that includes the right to say things that may offend people. But like I said in my last video, you don't get to make terroristic demands and threaten violence because you don't get your way. I like how in every situation he brought up where someone black lost their lives at the hands of someone non-black, he failed to mention a simple common denominator. We call this intellectual dishonesty or cherry picking, by the way. Every individual in that situation had a choice. They simply made the wrong one and they paid for it with their lives. Is it terrible? Yes, it is. I do not in any way find reason to celebrate the loss of life. But let's not kid ourselves here. When you make dumb decisions, you receive horribly stupid consequences. This is a fact. He's blaming everything on white supremacy, but yet he just sat there in the same video and put himself above somebody white. Last I checked, you get up the same way a white person wakes up in the morning. You open your fucking eyes. You breathe the same way. You may not eat the same cuisine, but the same items that make up your cuisine makes up his cuisine. The same way you go to the bathroom, the same way he goes to the bathroom. The same way you see a pretty girl, you get a hard dick. The same way a white man sees a pretty girl, gets a hard dick. At the end of the day, if you cut a white man and you cut this jackass, the same material which circulates through your body has the same color. The only thing that separates it is genetic material and the typing of that blood. See, these are people who are not really for you, black people. These are people who I like to call shines, tricksters in true form. These are the real coons. These are the people that will tell you, we're going to go do this. But I promise you they won't show up. These will be the people that tell you it's okay to target someone because of the color of their skin. But they will be the same one to cry when it comes back their way. Now, I am not a person that says we should engage in racial dialogue and racial conversation with a negative point. I'm not one to say that. I am, however, saying if we're going to have the conversation, let us be civil about it. Fact of the matter is, I'm hoping this asshole shows up at Stone Mountain. I'm not from there. And the closest I was to Stone Mountain was only years ago when I was stationed in Liberty County. But I hope that he goes. And I hope that he acts a fool. And I hope somebody pulls out that Mossberg swerve and mows his ass down. And let him be an example of what the fuck happens when you commit a terrorist act on United States soil. Now, some people are going to want to know, what the fuck do I mean by a terrorist act? In my previous video dealing with this jackass, and I think I'm going to make a series dealing with these so-called unquote black supremacists and showing you with their own words what they have said. This is a man who has put forward that it's okay to kill white folks simply for being white. He said it is okay to go after cops, for some of which are not white. Some of them are black, and some of them are Asian, and some of them are Latino, and some of them are Native American descended. Some of them may be Middle Eastern descended. But the point of the matter is this. This man, simply because of an identity, of a race, probably I wouldn't be surprised if he did it on the basis of sexual orientation, will target others simply because they are different than who he is. This is a guy who has delusions of grandeur. He's a fucking megalomaniac. It has been come across to my attention that he has called himself the Black Messiah. Now, religious beliefs aside, this is a man who is out of his fucking mind. And yet he has a voice. Yet he has a platform on which he can stand and say the things that he says. And you know what? This is America, Jack. You don't have to like the fact that he says what he says. And I'm not taking away his right to hold his own opinion. What I'm knocking this dickhead for is that you're encouraging others to commit criminal acts. You are holding the United States people in a position where if they do not comply with your demands, you will carry out acts of violence and subversion against its people and the interest of the nation. Do you know what I call you? I call you a terrorist. Do you know what I do or what I like to do to terrorists? Those words I won't utter. They're too disturbing. I don't believe that you should have the right to do this. And instead of talking to black folks about examining the things that they do, instead of talking to black folks about looking at the flaws in the system and concocting a strategy plan on how you can change the system to work a bit in your favor. Because let's be realistic. Whites have done it, Asians have done it, Jews have done it, Hispanics are doing it. Hell, even the Africans who are coming from Africa are figuring this out. So are the Arabs and the Hindus and the Russians. Your black ass is the only one that hasn't figured this out. And instead of concocting this conversation on how we can make the system better, not just to benefit us as black people, but us overall, you plan this. Hey, King Noble, I got news for you. It ain't just black folks who are losing their lives at the hands of police. There are white folks that die every day at the hands of a pissed off cop. And I got nothing against the police, because for every 100 bad apples you have, there are thousands of great officers who get up every day putting their lives on the line to serve the public trust and uphold the law. But you know what, King Noble? And this is how we know you don't do your research. The media never talks about it. The media sensationalizes it. You, reading probably some esoteric bullshit like comedics and everything else, buy into it hook, line, and sinker. White folks aren't to blame for the actions of Negroes. What happened to James Byrd? That was a racist killing. No one can deny this. The brother in Jasper, that looks pretty racially motivated too. But when you say Eric Gardner was killed because he was black, it's bullshit. When you say Mike Brown was killed because he was black, that too is bullshit. Hell, I'll even go out and say this. Trayvon Martin. And even though people who say time and again that boy was a thug, I have ardently stood up and said, even if that were true, what did it have to do with him walking home that night by himself? Unless he was in the act of committing a forcible felony, what the fuck did his previous history have to do with what happened between him and George Michael Zimmerman? Nothing. But even then, Trayvon made a choice. No matter how benign, made a choice. And this is what you fail to realize, Negro. I'm going to make it my personal business to ensure every filthy word you say is recorded. I'm going to make it my business that every filthy thing you do is recorded. And then I'm going to make it my business to push that you be investigated. In fact, I'm wildin'. Word on the street is the FBI is already watching you. I'm going to do the very best that I can to help, as an American citizen, supply all the evidence they need. Because you and your ilk need to be off the streets, and you need to be where other terrorists belong, dead or in jail.